Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert from the Business Awards Show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Business Women Awards and the Best SME Awards. Well, today I'm really excited because I'm being joined by a fellow award organiser, and I love to talk to people who are as passionate about awards as me. So I'm joined today by Griselda Togobo. She is a leadership expert, a motivational keynote speaker, and an entrepreneur with more than 15 years' experience with global organizations. She also helps leaders and their teams become braver, more inclusive, and higher performing, powerful keynote talks that she delivers alongside her coaching programs and talent development initiatives. She is also deeply passionate about social mobility and advancing women in leadership through her community We Are Novi, the Novi Awards and Novi Futures, which supports the next generation of leaders. So, Griselda, it's wonderful to have you here. Welcome to the podcast. And that is quite a lot of credentials there, Griselda. I hope you're really proud of what you've achieved.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for having me. We just show up every day and do our best. It's,
Oh, I
it's just
like
a
that.
task list.
Well, when I read up about you, I thought, wow, this woman is incredible. And I'd known about you for a very, very long time because if you're anything like me, you keep an eye on other awards that are out there that are credible and doing great things. And I've followed your progress over the years, and it's great to have you on the show. So tell us where this all began. So you had this corporate career. And then you obviously set up your own business. So talk us through what decision, that what led you to that decision and where you are today. So talk us through that journey.
Yes, so I trained as a chartered accountant doing management consulting with Deloitte. I met a young doctor, got married, and moved to Yorkshire. When we got to Yorkshire, he was still writing his medical exam, so lots of travel. I was also working full time, lots of travel. I got pregnant and had a baby, and we realized who is going to look after this baby because we were both just in and out of the house with studies and career and travel. And so I went to the partner of the firm at the time and asked to work from home. And I just asked for one day working from home. And he said no. And, that was 15 years ago. And that was the push, the catalyst I needed to take the leap and to start my own business.
And what made you pick leadership development and leadership coaching?
So it's evolved over time. I was doing advisory work and organizational development within corporate already. And so normally when you leave corporate, you just try to use the skill set you had already. So I was doing more of advisory work, more of coaching, and gradually evolved into leadership because those were the people asking me to advise them, to support them, and to support their teams. Along that journey, I came across a small organization called Forward Ladies in Yorkshire. I was then looking for networking opportunities as a young mom in a new region. And I came across this network, which was very pink and fluffy at the time. And I thought there was a lot that could be done with it. The owner at the time, Etta Cohen, was ready to retire. So I bought it from her and been on this journey with it ever since.
That's really interesting. So you bought the business from her. So I'm guessing for you, that gave you a ready-made community in order to build from that. So that was a big
Yes,
advantage.
yes. That's
And
something I always advise people. You don't have to start everything
no.
from scratch. I mean, Elon Musk, for all his fame and wealth, never started any of the companies that made him wealthy. He always spotted a good idea and bought it and then made it bigger and better and more commercial for himself. So no, I don't mind starting things from scratch and I don't mind building on what others have done as well.
So you rebranded from Forward Ladies to Novi. What was the thought process behind that? And what does it stand for? What does it mean?
Yeah, so Forward Ladies has been getting over the years, we get a lot of feedback about the name. It just didn't sit well with some people.
Mm.
Um, and so some people would even go as far as to say they wouldn't enter awards because it was the Forward Ladies Awards.
Mm,
And so I knew the name had to change. And also we were doing a lot more corporate work. And
mm,
within the corporate work, people have to sign off budgets. And when the name Forward Ladies came up for sign off, it triggered a lot of conversations. What organization is this? What do they do? For some reason, people always went with the other meaning of forward rather than
mm.
just a progressive woman looking forward to do things. So I knew the name had to change, and also I knew I had outgrown the brand.
Mm.
So I started off, like many people, not very confident about myself and what I was doing and where it could take me. And over the years, I became more confident. I felt, there were rooms I could walk in on my own merit as
Mm.
Griselda Togobo. I didn't really need to have a ready-made brand, so to speak. And the four ladies' name was really just starting to hold us back from some of
Yeah.
these rooms. So I knew it was time for change. I had tried to change the name a few times. This is, I think, about the third or fourth iteration. All the different names I tried just never really stuck. Um, but Novi is, I'm originally from Ghana.
Hmm.
And one of the reasons why I do this work is because of my mom.
Hmm.
She was the first of three children. She was a girl who was then denied education because of her gender. And she went on to build a construction company, textile company, and she became this, solace for the whole village, even though she wasn't considered a good investment. So I grew up with this woman, this powerful role model, very inspirational character, bigger than life, really. She was very tall. I'm tiny. I'm 5'3". And so she really gave me the motivation to support women because that was something she did herself. And so I always had this mission, this need to give back, to champion women. And also having gone through corporate, having a child myself and experiencing what I did, I just felt there was a lot that can be done with the community. And so Novi is, it means sisterhood. It's
Mm.
non-gendered. It means brother, sister. It means a lot of things in different languages. And so I just felt it was a label that I could work with. It was inclusive. It was global. It had my roots in it because it's a word from my language, Ewe, but it also has Swedish and Germanic roots. And for me, it just felt like a word that we could all work with if no one could own it. And I
Mm.
think it's really landed really well with people.
Mm.
People say the Novi Awards all the time. And because you don't know exactly what it is, you then want to find out more. And so the branding has been really well done. I didn't do it all myself. My team did an amazing job pulling the whole brand together. And I'm glad I listened to the
Mm.
feedback and change as well because we changed right at the time when the narrative around supporting women's initiatives have also changed quite significantly since when I started. So yeah, it's given us new vim, new energy, and people resonate with the name, the brand, and everything we're doing. And I'm delighted that we are able to work with so many wonderful women and brands as well through this initiative.
Sounds amazing. So talk me through the community. We are Novi. What does that do and who does that support?
Yeah, so we at Novi supports women who are looking to grow. We have different packages. We have the Trailblazer package for women who have achieved a lot. They have agency, they have employees, but they're also looking for support in terms of accountability, in terms of skill set and expertise. So we have that membership tier for them. Then we have the middle tier, which is the Grow Plan. Those are people who are looking more for an advisory board support. So we meet every month with peers tailored around the industry and stage you are in the business, and you get to work with a coach on this journey as you progress through either your career or your business. And then we have the more wider community membership, which is the virtual membership, where you can join and access all the virtual programming that we do, and you can also get discounts to attend the events that we do in person. So that is what we offer. We want to help women achieve their goals. We want to help women break down barriers, because that's something we can all relate to. Whether you're mom or your carer or your founder or your leader in a corporate or SME, there are so many barriers that we women face. And we felt that in addition to recognizing people, we needed to provide support for those who felt that they needed it.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. And you're not just working with people who run a business, you are also working with women who are in leadership roles within companies.
Yes, yes.
So, what sort of challenges are women still faced with? I mean, there are a lot, but I'm sure there's a few common ones that you see in 2026 that are still happening. What do you think the biggest issues that women are faced with at the moment?
Oh, there's so many issues still. I think depending on where you sit, whether you're in corporate or a
Mm,
founder, the experience can be quite different. But
mm,
there's still lack of funding. There's still lack of childcare.
mm,
We women are still doubting ourselves and blaming ourselves for all the cultural barriers that are
mm.
in place. We're still blaming ourselves for feeling like imposters, when actually, for me, it's really about the environment we find ourselves in. There's still a lot of toxic masculinity, bro culture, both within corporate, within the investor space, and within some work environments as well. And all of these things make it almost impossible for women to progress. And so you find that the barriers have reduced, and some people are able to make great progress and achieve a lot within the context that we have. But the barriers are still quite significant for others who need a lot of support. They need coaches, they need mentors, they need sponsors, they need advisors, and a community to pick them up and to encourage them when the going gets tough.
Yeah, which is great that you've developed all of this. And I think that leads us on to talking about awards because I think awards are a great confidence booster,
They are.
both for women working in a corporate environment and also women running their own business. And your awards straddle both, don't they? So
Yes.
talk me through the awards that you run because I'm sure you've made some changes to it since it was Forward Ladies. So talk me through who your awards are aimed at and the entry process for people.
Yeah, so our awards, even though they are called an awards, they are more of an awards and summit. There's
Mm,
a learning element to it that people are quite surprised by when they first come to the event, because they're expecting to just receive a trophy and go home. But I try and make sure that if anybody gives us time to
mhm,
travel into London or wherever we have the event and to attend, they also leave with something.
mm,
So our awards are, we have thought-provoking panels, we have keynotes, we have speeches, and then we have the award ceremony. The award ceremony really is the icing on the cake. Now, one of the other ways in which we are quite different from other awards program is our cross-industry focus.
mm,
So we bring together women from corporate, from public sector, from social enterprises, as well as founders. And I think a lot of people are used to being in their own silos, working in their own industries. So when you come to my event, you could be a small business in Yorkshire, sat next to the CEO of a nuclear company, or a public sector company, or Boeing, or you could
mm.
be sat next to any of these massive name brands, and the chances of your path crossing would be very slim. But in that room on that day, I bring them all together. The other thing that's also different is we've incorporated men into our event, because
Mhm.
now it's not just about we women fighting our own battle. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm very tired of fighting.
I
We need
agree.
other hands on deck. We need
Need
other
it.
voices. We need the men on board because they are part of the solution.
Mm,
So we have a panel of allies and advocates that we bring together. They tend to be men that are championing women's causes and women's programs, sponsoring them, investing in them. And they also share their own perspective as well. And I think people find that
mm,
invaluable. And then the last bit is we incorporate the next generation. So I have founded a charity, Novi Futures, with Usha Kong, who was a previous winner. So when people win, the collaborations just start to happen
mm.
because, conversations facilitates that. And so what we do is, and what we've started doing is we bring in school age pupils into our event. So last year we hosted a table of them, and they also have a panel. And so the leaders are surprised to hear from young people. The young people are in a room full of role
Mhm.
models from all across the country, multiple sectors and industries. And I think the energy is just something that people always tell us they are not able to find at other events. And I think it's that unique mix of different people and different ideas and different industries, men and women as well. Even though it's a women's event, there are a lot of men in the room. I think that is what people find quite surprising, and the feedback we get that it expands their thinking, and so the win I think means a lot more to them as well. So
That's amazing.
if you're from any industry, you can apply. We have categories that cut across all these industries. I don't pick the winners. So if I know you, or it doesn't mean anything because we have a panel that
Yeah.
get together that pick all the winners.
Mhm.
They're graded, and on the day we announce the winners. So we don't know who the winners are until this year on the 20th when we announce all the winners. You can't buy our awards. They're not for sale. And when
Brilliant.
people win, they have told me the impact it's had on their career. It's been such a huge confidence boost because when you see the short list of our categories, so for example, if we took the women in STEM category and it was all these CFOs and CTOs and all those people in that category, and you win, it gives them so much validation that amongst their peers, they can hold their own. And also we've had some of the past winners come together. So Emma Wright and Sheridan Ash came together and took the government to court on the Female Invest fund and got them to reverse the threshold for female investors, so that the tax threshold was lower, so women could invest in more female ventures. So we over the years, I've seen so many of our winners come back, sponsor categories, speak, and take us into their corporate organization, bring their teams. So it's become this event that pays things forward to other people. Once you've been in it, you want to bring others to it as well. And I
Mm.
think that is what's quite, I'm told, is quite different and special about our event. It's quite, it doesn't fit into any one space because you get to learn, you get to connect, you get to win an award, you get to meet SMEs and corporates. Yeah, it's a festival of ideas, but it works.
So you don't have to be a finalist to come to the event, or do you?
No,
No.
you
So
can
it's
bring
open
your
to anyone.
guest. It's
So you're getting a really good, educational and really inspiring, is what I'm hearing from you. It's a
Yes,
very inspiring day. And then you finish off the day and announce the winners of your awards at the end.
yes,
That's
yes,
fantastic. And when is it
yes.
this year?
It's on the 20th of November at the Londoner. So the
Mhm.
Londoner is also a very plush five-star
Yeah.
venue. We only intended to go there once and come back to Yorkshire, but we've been seduced by the London light.
Oh, you started it in Yorkshire, did you?
Yes, it's been in Yorkshire for 10 years. One of the biggest
Interesting.
events in Yorkshire. Yeah, we attract about 500 people in Yorkshire. But I've done it in Yorkshire for 10 years. And then after COVID, I just felt, a need to refresh it and do something different, which is why we are now in London. But we'll be coming back to Yorkshire certainly at some point.
Some point. Yeah, I did the opposite. So Best Business Women Awards moved out of London last year. We've gone up to Daventry, which is kind of halfway up the country to try and make the awards a bit more accessible for people up
Yes,
north. But I can
yes.
see the power of your event because this isn't just an award ceremony. I sound like I'm downplaying my own awards here, and I probably
No.
am a little bit because ours is a celebration in the evening. It's a party, essentially. But I love the fact that women can come to your event if they're not a finalist for a start off, but if they are actually getting quite a lot of value. And I love the fact you've got this charity, Novi Futures. So let's talk a
Yes.
little bit more about the charity and who you're helping with that.
Yes. So we are helping years 11 to 13.
Hmm.
Um, Focused around underrepresentation and
Hmm.
children from challenged backgrounds.
Yeah.
We work with corporates
Hmm.
to give them pathways into education, and so we take them into schools. They have an opportunity day, as we call it, so they get exposure to the CEO, they get exposure to the leaders, they get exposure to the jobs that are ready, will be ready for them for the future, and they get mentored. And so we work in partnership with the schools to make this happen for the young people. Again, it's not just focused on girls, because the challenge now is both girls and
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
So we are trying to get our young boys to be confident, to be positive,
Mm.
and expose them to some really good, positive role models. And we want the girls to continue to also benefit from all the work we've been doing, so
Mm.
that in the future it's equal. There's real equity. You said your event is the dinner event. Ours is a daytime event. So we start drinking from 10 a.m. 10 a.m.
I
till
love that
4
though.
p.m.
Yeah.
Again,
No,
it's
I do
around
love that.
childcare.
Yeah.
Some
And
people
then,
can make even events.
yeah.
Yes.
And then people
Yes.
can get back at the end of the day anyway, can't they? So they don't have to
Yes.
stay. No, I love
Yes.
it. I'm booking a ticket. I'm
Oh,
going.
I'd love to have you. I'd love to. Honestly, I
Oh,
think
God.
you before we go on the call, we were talking about just how common event awards are now, and I have gone through many thoughts around, is this still relevant? Do people still need awards?
Mm.
And I always come to the conclusion that they do. A
Mm.
few bad nuts don't change the whole thing.
No.
And we can only keep our own values and
Yeah.
integrity when we do our awards, so that, ultimately, we keep serving people and for all the right reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I've had other award organisers on the show, Sandra Garlick, who runs the Women Who Awards. You may have heard of her because she's not that far from you. Alex, who runs the Great British Business Awards.
Yes.
And I I want to talk to award organisers that have that credibility factor because we need to speak up about the bad practices that are going on out there and help educate people to understand, well, what's a real award and what's a fake award? Real awards have a judging panel like you. Real
Yeah.
awards don't give awards because you sponsor it or because you're a judge.
Yes.
I've seen that practice going on. And, you know, it's about not having voting. I mean, voting to me is a popularity contest. I don't like that side of it. And if someone nominates you, my understanding with your process is that you will tell that person who's nominated them. So
Yes.
therefore, the awards out there that are sending people a nomination, which is fake and has been generated by AI, I mean, I could nominate 50 people in 2 seconds flat by uploading a file into ChatGPT and sending out all these emails to people to tell them they've been nominated for my awards, which they haven't because I've made them up. And I just find that whole practice really awful because people get these emails and they get all excited that somebody's nominated them. And I always say, go to the organizer. If they can't tell you who's nominated you, then there's something wrong. So there's a lot of this practice going on. And then the other thing where they're sending people emails and saying, oh, you've won the best marketing agency in Yorkshire. Here's your award. And we'll have £699, please, for that. It's not a
Yeah.
real award. And we need to get this across to people that these are fake. These are generated a lot of the time by companies that are selling advertising space, publication directories. There's just I've certainly seen the increase. You know, my award's 12
Yes.
years old this year, to the point where I don't even publish a list anymore on my website, which is a real shame. But it means that they can't just scrape it off there straight away. It makes it a bit harder for them because they prey on people who've won an award and then think that they're gullible and they'll sign up for other things. So you are totally on point. And I love the fact that you've created this into a learning experience for people. So to me, that's really valuable to listen to a panel
Yes, it's
discussion.
not. Yes.
Yeah.
I always feel bad when people buy a ticket to an event, to an award ceremony, and don't win. This is why our event, you don't pay to apply.
No.
And it's very time consuming process from the nomination to the application to the judging. And depending on the sponsors that we have, we are not able to give away complimentary tickets. Something
No,
we
same
used
as
to
mine.
do in
No,
the
we
in
can't.
the past. We can't do that anymore. So you
No.
have to buy your ticket to attend. Um, and so, we've invested a lot in the process. I will
Mm,
say we have two ways of nominating. We do have an anonymous nomination
mm,
where people still write
mm.
down why they are nominating the person, and then we have named nominations.
Yeah.
We do that because sometimes people do get surprised, and I also once in a while want to nominate someone, and I don't want it to be seen as Griselda nominated this person, so this person has to win. So that is there
Yeah.
for that reason. I have to also say I have lost sponsors because of the rigid criteria we apply to the winner selection. A sponsor cannot just pick a winner. And
No, no, no.
I have lost a lot of money over the years because an organization wanted someone to win
Mm.
and the judges did not agree.
No, but you stuck
And
to your guns, and I'm in the
yes,
same boat as you. You know,
yes,
sponsors cannot enter, and there is a handful of sponsors on our judging panel, but they tend to be people who are working with a law firm that we work with, and they have to declare if they know somebody, nine times
yes,
out of
yes,
10.
Chinese walls.
Yeah, we've never had an issue, and we have another judge, a head judge, that adjudicates all the scoring. So if there was an anomaly, we've had one anomaly once back in 2016, and it's never happened again. Where clearly this judge, who only ever sat on our panel for 1 year, did know somebody and scored it and didn't tell us. But the anomaly was obvious because the scoring was so much higher than the other judges. So it stood out a mile. It was like, wow. So I think if you've got a robust judging process and you can pull out those things, then that makes it a credible awards at the end of the
Yes,
day because it's won
yes.
on merit, not because you sponsor it or because you know the organizer or
No,
you know
no.
what I mean?
Again,
It's all a
I'm
bit.
very unpopular because people I know
Mm,
who apply because they know me
I know.
are not happy
Yeah.
when they don't win because they think they will because I know them, but I don't. Which is why I try and distance myself
Yeah.
from the judging process. I'm involved in the facilitation and the
Yeah.
conversations, and we grade everything and go through with the highest score.
Mm,
I have to say that with our awards, some people, if you don't attend our awards, it's very rare that you will win because
mm,
we give marks for attendance.
yeah.
It's so unfair for other people to travel. And we have people coming from New York, from Sri Lanka. People travel all over to attend our awards. So for them to be in the room and then someone in Yorkshire decides not to come down,
Mm,
it's just a bit unfair. And also we have scholarships. We have sponsors who offer a scholarship. So if you can't afford the full ticket, half ticket, or quarter, we work with sponsors to try and help people to
yeah. To
attend
try and help
because it's
people to
all
attend.
about
Yeah.
we don't want people to miss out on the opportunity
Yeah.
to be celebrated
Yeah.
simply because of cost.
Yeah. So you are offering lots of options there.
Yes,
So
yes,
let's talk
yes,
about award entries because, like you, I don't actually get involved in the judging, but obviously I get the phone calls afterwards. Why wasn't I shortlisted? Why didn't I win the gold? You know, all of that. And nine times out of ten, what we've experienced, and I also judge the Stevie Awards, which is a global
yeah,
business awards for women. I see the same things. And I think when I agreed to be a judge for the Stevies, they are paying $500 to enter. So I was expecting this really high level quality of entries, all the boxes ticked because they're spending so much money on their entry. And they've got the same problems as us, that people just do not answer the questions, fill in the form properly, and submit some really compelling evidence. Do you have that problem with your rewards?
Yes, the quality of the application is always a problem. And we have worked with the judges in the past to have events to help people just, sell themselves better.
Mm.
And we also used to have a live in-person event just so the judges can meet the candidates in
Mm.
person and decide based on not just an application, but also on, the person's presence, on whether they were deserving to win or not. So that there's a problem around how we promote ourselves.
Mm.
I think people are still hesitant to say all the things they've done and to pull out the numbers, because it's all about the numbers. It's
Mm.
demonstrating impact and growth. So we have three criteria. So we have the leadership, the commercial impact, then we have the societal impact. So you take one and you say what you've done and demonstrate that with some evidence. It's not onerous, but we want to see that we're comparing like with like. And some people just don't do that.
No,
They
they
just
don't.
don't do that. So again, every year we run a masterclass for
Mm.
our community to help them just get some help with the application process. And I think there are a lot of service providers as well who help people with the applications.
Yeah.
But one of our winners, Lara, who won overall businesswoman in the past, she always says when she got our email, she thought, what is it? Is this spam? But then when she sat down and went through the process, the application, she got so much out of it because she has been working flat out, never taking the time to just look back at what she had achieved, how she had achieved it, and who has supported her. And she said that alone from the application process was invaluable to her because it made her realize just how much she had done and achieved, something she would never have done otherwise. So whether she won or not, she's felt she had already gained from the process. And this is what I encourage people to do. It's a useful exercise every year to
Definitely.
just see how you would promote yourself, how you sell yourself to a new audience, really. Because it helps you to refamiliarize yourself, isn't it, with your work?
Well, I want to talk to you about Ruby because Ruby won the Best Business Women Awards for Best New Business, very first woman ever
Okay.
won, going back to, I want to say 2016, 2017. It was quite a long time ago. And she has now won some incredible awards,
Incredible awards,
including
yes.
your one for Best
Yes.
Entrepreneur, I think it was last year, the
No,
overall
she
winner.
took the top award,
Top
Business Award
award,
of the
yeah, the
Year.
overall
Yes,
winner. Yeah.
yes, yes,
And that to me shows that the journey of awards. So you start with winning a new business
yes,
award. The
yes.
very first time when she first started her period knicker business that she has, period underwear
Veronica.
business.
I love that.
Amazing. I love her. I think she's amazing. And I've watched her little journey grow, grow, grow into this big journey. And I've watched her.
Yeah.
And then I listened to her talking to you on your podcast the other day. And I thought that's amazing because to watch that journey and, people say to me often, oh, I've already won an award. Should I enter another one? I've won one a few, awards should be on everybody's radar on a regular basis. What do you think about that?
Oh yes, yes. Because we women struggle to shout about ourselves and our own
Mm.
achievements, and it's good for you to then delegate that to an award organization like ours to do
Mm.
that for you. So when you win our awards, we are plastering you everywhere on social media. We are inviting you to speak. We are sharing your story. We're interviewing you on podcasts. We're making introductions behind the scenes to help you on your journey. And so it's really an opportunity to be visible, to celebrate not just for yourself, but also the team that helped you to build whatever you're building, the people that have supported you along the way. And also just to keep those conversations going, because awards are a fantastic networking opportunity. The
Mhm.
people you get in a room on a single day, you could not get those same people together at any other time. So for any business or career, I just think being involved in any awards at all and being selective about the awards you apply for, because I think sometimes people can't overdo it. You don't have to win every award,
No.
but you just need to be selective about the awards you apply for. And you do that, you have a rhythm to doing it. You'll be amazed. You might apply. We had one lady who applied maybe 7 years. Every single year she came for 7 years. And then the year that she won, oh my God, it just meant so much to her because she had seen, every year she came, the people who won, she connected with them, she grew her business, she came back, she did better. And Jane, and she had her business is successful mom, so she won the Community Social Impact Award, and she was just such a deserving winner. Because she keeps coming to the award not just for the win, but for everything else that she was getting as a result of being part of the community. So I really encourage people, make the time and get help if you need, but
Mm.
certainly you can make this year or any other year an award-winning year if you decide to make it one.
I love that. What a great sentence to end on. We've had such a great conversation. I've loved talking to you. I love your energy. You are utterly inspiring. And I wish you every success with Novi Awards again this year. You've made something really, really special. And I'm going to be there in November.
Oh,
I
I
am
love to have
coming.
you.
I'm
Yes,
coming because it sounds like such
yes.
a great event and I really want to be part of it. So, if you've been listening to today's episode, we will make sure that Griselda's details are in the show notes and links to her awards and information about how you can enter. Thank you again, Griselda. It's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you,
I
Debbie.
wish you continued success.
It's the same for you as well. And I'm looking forward to us meeting in person.
Thank you.